Today we are going to show addition with fractions. Let's say that we have two fractions. We have 1/2 and we have 1/3. I would like to add them together, and we wonder what 1/2 plus 1/3 is. Well, the important clue with fractions is that you must have the same denominator before you're able to add fractions. Okay, so which of the two numbers here is the denominator? Well, the top number is called the numerator in English, and the bottom number, what our fraction is divided into, whether it's halves or thirds or sixths, is called the denominator. One way that we can remember that is that the denominator is down at the bottom of the fraction. Okay, so the first question is, do our fractions have the same denominator? No. This fraction is divided into halves, and this fraction is divided into thirds. And we can see that when we look at these two shapes. They're not the same size. And in the same way that we can't add 1 centimeter plus 1 millimeter together when they have different units, we have to change them to the same unit. We can change centimeter to millimeters, or millimeters to centimeters before we can add them. It's actually the same thing with fractions. If fractions don't have the same denominator, we can't add them. Okay, does that mean that we can't add 1/2 and 1/3 then? No, it doesn't. It just means we have to make them into the same sort of shape. So if we look down here, we actually have some sixths. And we can see that if we were actually to cover this third, sorry, that wasn't supposed to be there. If we were actually to move this sixth and place it on top of our half, we'd be able to see that 3 of these sixths actually cover our half a pizza perfectly. And the 2 sixths that we have down here cover our 1/3 perfectly. So what have we done in terms of maths then? Well, we've actually said that we change this 1/2 into the equivalent fraction of 3 sixths. Now have changed our 1/2 into 3 sixths, 1 sixth, 2 sixths, and 3 sixths. And we've changed the 1/3 fraction that we had into 1 sixth, 2 sixths. So we actually have exactly the same shapes, exactly the same sizes. It's just as though we've cut up our pizza and we're now going to divide it between 5 people. So now we are ready. We now have the same denominator here. Both of our denominators are 6. So now we're able to add them. Well, what's 3 sixths plus 2 sixths going to be? Well, we could actually just add them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are we going to have? We're going to be having 6 of the pieces of pizza, and how many did we have? 5. And there's a bit of a clue here now that we can see what we should be able to do then. Well, 3 plus 2 equal 5. So when we have fractions, what do we do with the numerator? We add the top 2 numbers. The numerators get added together. 3 plus 2 equals 5. What do we do with the denominator then? Do we add 6 plus 6 as well? No, because we're actually just adding our pieces of pizza that we have together. We're counting in 6. How many pieces of sixths did we have? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5 sixths. So the big clue when we're adding fractions is that this denominator here doesn't get added. It actually stays exactly the same. We had 5 sixths of pizza. And once you've got used to doing this in terms of pictures, you can actually try doing it in terms of numbers a bit more as well. So what would we do if we hadn't had the pictures here? How would we represent this in terms of maths? We'd say we had 1/2 and we were adding 1/3 to it. We change our halves and thirds to the lowest common denominator, which is the lowest number that both 3 and 2 will divide into. And we just have to think of our times tables there. The first 1, 2 is 2. 2 2s are 4, 3 2s are 6, 4 2s are 8. We could carry on with our times table. But if we looked at our 3 times table, 1 3 is 3, 2 3s are 6, 3 3s are 9. We can see that we have a common number here. The first number that's common to both sets of table, our 2 times table and our 3 times table, is 6. So our lowest common denominator is going to be 6. We need to change these two denominators here into 6. How can we change 2 into 6? Well, we can actually multiply it by this 3. If we multiplied 2 by 3, we would get 6. If we multiplied this 3 by 2, we actually call it cross multiplying, we will get 6 as well. We're not allowed to multiply just the denominator by 3. We also have to multiply this numerator by 3. And the same thing here. We can't change this fraction by just multiplying the denominator by 2. We actually have to multiply the numerator by 2. So in maths terms, what we've done is we've said 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6, plus we've changed 1 times 2 is 2, 3 times 2 is 6. We've changed a half plus a third into its equivalent fractions, 3 6 and 2 6. And now we're counting in sixths, so the answer stays in sixths. And then we just add 3 plus 2 is 5 6. And when you're doing it the first time around, actually draw some sketches, change your fractions into the equivalent fractions that you can see here. We still have our half underneath, but now all our fractions have the same size and are much easier for us to add. And our 1/3 is still here, and it's equivalent to 2 6. So this is how we add fractions, and I'll show you another video with how we can subtract fractions as well. Best of luck.